Hello there, fellow summoners. Mad Dog HT here again, and I got another Alliance War video. This is Season 19, all of Node 20. This is the shared mini-boss node on the left side. It's got the Strike Counter Fury, armor, and power drain. Now that Strike Counter Fury, it was kind of hard to get used to towards the beginning, but I think I got it down now, just because you only have the certain number of hits with the mediums, the lights, the heavies. So for this one, I had Korg, and I had Doom with me, and the idea for me here was to just try to spam Special 1 as much as possible, and then Steel Power. That way I could mitigate not really having to worry about what kind of hits I had left, and kind of mitigate how many Furies he gets, because if you get this thing out of control and you're not throwing a special, you can build up a ton of Furies. It can be a little bit problematic, but this fight, it goes pretty well. A little bit of chip damage, but I don't think I take any hits. And yeah, but one thing to note that we found out a little bit through the season, and you'll notice this, is that we leave this node 20 noded from the middle node, which is like a power focus 1. And I feel like generally for most fights, that's going to help you, especially for the defenders that get put here that have annoying special 2s that you don't want them throwing, just because they might be a little bit more challenging to fully dex or whatnot. So anyway, just keep that in mind as we go through this. I don't take all of these fights because it's a shared node, depending on what the champ was. I sometimes had the best counter, sometimes I didn't. So here is a Mordo, and this is a flow node, and I thought I should go in with Thing. And I had been boosted from the prior fights, and I thought that this would be a good option, and I could activate the protection, but man, I just, Thing doesn't crit a whole bunch, but man, I felt like I was triggering flow quite a bit here, and yeah, this fight got out of control really fast, and this is where it would be really, really beneficial to have that power focus 1, because it would help mitigate how much power he gets, getting up to L2 or to L3. I mean, it's still possible, but it just takes a lot more to do that. So there I eat an L1. That triggers protection, and he gets the regen instead of the Furies, so he's healing back up some. Like, oh, that's not good. And just the power flood keeps coming, and yeah, I'm gonna eat another L3 here. I don't have protection again. Yeah, just this fight was just like, no. And and thinking about it, I had an invulnerability boost, where you can take the three free hits, and I probably should have thrown that on with this matchup, especially with the flow, because Mordo, he can just be a pain in the butt with, throwing specials and whatnot. And yeah, that was just not a good fight. So there is a death on the season, and I'm like, man, that sucked. Let's just go back in with Torch. Torch should just burn him to the ground, right? And then here's where I'm like, I'm gonna put that boost on in case I get special 3'd in the face, right? So check this out. So I go back in with Torch. Torch doesn't crit a whole bunch either, but I mean, you look, there you go. 2 crits out of the first couple hits, but man, those incinerates are just doing massive work. And yeah, again, take this fight noted with the special power focus 1. And I didn't need the invulnerability boost. He just goes down. It's kind of unfortunate. I should have put that on the first fight. And I probably should have gone in with Human Torch first as well. So here's another one. So this is where we do leave it noted. So it's got that power focus 1, which is great for Wasp because her L1's easy. It puts her, she shrinks down and she won't be able to stun you or whatever. Thing is shock immune. So my plan here is I don't care if she builds up the Furies because that's just going to feed into Thing's protection. So I can just go to town on her and really not have to worry about her L2, which can hit like a freaking freight train. And I can just kind of freely take the shocks if they come in or not. And yeah, so it's just kind of nice. So she's got 5 Furies. I think she gets quite a few towards the end, I think. But it doesn't really matter. So the more Furies she has, basically the more she can't hurt me, so long as I got, if I'm blocking and I get the protection and stuff. So yeah, so this fight works out really well. I think this is a pretty good placement, but if you have Thing, this is like the perfect counter, and then leave that power focus 1 up. I mean, you'll have to be dodging a lot of L1s, getting out of the way of that, but you really will have a hard time pushing her to L2. So I mean, look, she's got 15 Furies, 16 Furies, and I think when I do a parry block, it's gonna start boom, protection. So like, it's gonna be really hard to take Thing down when there's so many Furies where it's just protection every single hit. So yeah, so if you see Wasp on this node, leave that power focus 1 up. I suggest leave it up all the time, just because getting L3'd or whatever, especially if you got flow, it's just not going to happen. And boom, there you got it. So I took 12% damage, so not too bad. So there's another one down, and that one was clean, so that was good. Now we're going to come up. We got Symbiote Supreme. Again, leaving the power focus 1 up, as you saw, and I'm going to go in with Torch, and I'm just going to melt this dude. And does this have flow? I think this has flow. I don't activate the pre-fight. I save that for later. And just check this out. Check how fast this... I mean, a rank 3 6-star Human Torch, I mean, he's going to do some good damage, but I mean, I just love this dude. He is such an awesome attacker, especially when you have mystics that you're dealing with. It's just, man, you just cannot... It's really hard to die. There are a few times where I have, but, it's just, just melt. So this is going to be 30 hits. Power focus 1 is super sweet. Don't have to worry about the L2s. Don't have to worry about really dexing anything and triggering the crit and potentially getting it nullified. Super clean fight. So here was an interesting one. This one was a stubborn war, I think. Let's see. Yep, stubborn. And I thought Guardian was a defensive, but he is offensive. So that was nice. Again, we leave it noted. Dodging the L1 isn't too bad for this guy. His L2 can hit freaking hard. It's a little bit more tricky to dodge compared to the L1. So yeah, just leave that up. So basically, I'm just pushing him to L1 and then baiting it out, dodging, and I think I take this guy down pretty clean. He does have suicides on, so that does help as well. And yeah, I think this one, though, I don't try to... I'm just throwing off the L1s. And it's unblockable, so he can't auto-block that crap. And I think I'd take him down briefly. I don't even think he gets any of the passive furies. We'll see. But I mean, this is this month's event quest, big boss man. So I've been used to him dodging his special 1. Starting to get used to doing the special 2. I feel like it's kind of similar to Doom's special 2. But there you go, he's down. Yeah, I didn't see any of those passive furies, so I just kept spamming with the L1s when I could to make sure that goes, so it doesn't get that extra attack, but with Thing it really wouldn't have mattered. And then here's Dormammu, and again, this is stubborn, but Dormammu is not a defensive champion, which is kind of odd. But going with Torch. And again, Power Focus 1 is left up, so I don't have to worry about his big L2. And here I'm just kind of gonna start a little bit slow, build up the Smolder so my Incinerates can do more damage, and just build up a Smolder, give him a little poke, and let him melt. And then here I'm getting over to the corner, and then I'm gonna start to get out and block the L1 so I don't trigger Dex, so I don't take the degen damage. But yeah, and I was kind of rotating between a parry and a light, a parry and a heavy, or not a heavy, a medium. And yeah, that just makes sure that he doesn't get any furies, and he has 1 passive, and then he's gonna be dead. So I think that's all of the fights that I have on this node. Not too bad. I had 1 death. There was a bunch that were shared that my teammates had taken, but overall not too bad. Definitely recommend that L1 Power Focus node to be left up though. It's definitely recommended. So thanks for stopping by and watching. See you guys in the next one.